Hello and welcome to your first video feedback for your Functional Skills Level 2 reading. And in this video I'm going to look at the first 3 questions of your practice paper, and I'm going to be thinking about a 3-step process. Your first step, reading the question. Have you answered the question correctly? Did you understand the keywords? The second step, how might you have answered the question differently to gain a few more marks? And the third step, how your answer matches the reading requirement of the exam. So all the way through the videos that we do from now, that's the 3 steps that we will be using. So to begin with, you do need to have with you a copy of the reading paper you've answered, a highlighter and the reading text. Now OCR always tells you what type of text you're looking at. This is really important to remember when you're sitting in that exam. So document 1, we're looking at an advertisement for a new cinema. The second document you should have in front of you is the newspaper article. And the third document should be the local forum. When you're looking at answering questions on different texts, think about the text that you know least about. So if you don't use the internet a lot, or you've never really been on a forum, you don't look at blogs or follow any particular blog or idea on any of the internet sections that we have, it's important that you use that for revision. You start thinking about what language do we need to use. Do I understand what a blog is? Do I understand what a forum is? So let's begin. 3 things I want you to be aware of all the time for reading. PAT, purpose, P for purpose, audience, A for audience, and text features, T for text. This is something you're going to be applying to your reading all of the time. Do you know the purpose, why it's written? Do you know the audience, who it's written for? And do you know the text features for that particular piece of reading? Excuse me. OCR give you some important information at the beginning because they tell you to answer all the questions. Sounds simple, doesn't it? However, it is easy to drop marks because you think, I don't really know that answer. Have a go at it. So that's going to be our mantra from now on. Always have a go at every question, even if you're not sure of the answer. And the second thing that's really important is you do not need to write in sentences. Nobody's looking at your writing. The examiner's looking for keywords. So let's have a look at that first question. What are the different purposes of the 3 documents? Well, the purpose of document 1, do you remember? If you have it in front of you, it's an advertisement. So its purpose is to advertise the new cinema. In the second document, it was a newspaper article. So make sure you know what that article is doing. It's informing. But you might also say it's reviewing a new cinema, and either of those answers would have gained you a point. And document 3 is to let people air their views on local life in Newton. And because there's no restrictions on the way you do actually answer, any valid answer is acceptable, so any way in which you'd written that information would have gained you that point. So for question 2, we're reminded that we need to always, throughout the examination, be aware of which document we need to be looking at. And for question 2, we're looking at document 2. When I read the question, how does the legend help explain the meaning of the chart? I might be a little bit confused by that word legend, because if I don't know what legend means in terms of writing a chart or a chart outline, then I might be thinking about the meaning of traditional story. However, if there's a word you don't really understand, you're not quite sure how it fits, put it to one side and look for the other important words. So the key words for me in this question is explain the meaning of the chart. And I think if you did that, it wouldn't have mattered whether you knew what legend was or not. But let's have a quick overview. Legend. So here you have in front of you a bar chart overview. It shows you all the different parts of that chart, what they're called, the title, the data series, the grid lines, the axes. All of that together is what we call legend. So legend is what helps describe each of the part that makes up the chart. So let's have a look at the chart from the actual question. And what you're being asked to do is think about what the legend is helping explain. And you have the information there about the years, what are the years showing, the annual number of cinema visits in millions, and you can say something if you want to historically about what's happening there. Any explanation that you give, as long as it involves all of the key points of that legend, will work for you. So for this part of your reading, it's important now to think about, do you know enough about charts? Have you had enough experience about explaining charts? And if you think you need to do a little bit more work on that, add that to your revision. So question 3, it was a little bit easier for you because it's what we call a closed question. It means that there are 4 answers, and actually you could have a 25% chance of getting that right for that point. And the answer is that the specific detail you're looking for is the number of people visiting cinemas historically. And finally, for the second section of question 3, we have 3b, which is an open question, because it's asking you, why is it important for document 2 to include specific details? And if you remember, document 2 was that newspaper review. So you do need to have specific details to make a good balanced review and give people that information. Because this is an open question, you can, as long as you identify the key points, you can achieve that mark. So remember, don't get worried about what you need to say. Think very carefully about, do you understand purpose, audience and text? And in the next video, we'll have a look at the questions that are asking you to think about bias. Bye now.